This delicious pasta dish is packed full of brain foods and I can get it on the table in under 15 minutes. And that's because of these, frozen mussels, because mussels are little brain food powerhouses. They're packed full of the ingredients we need for our brains to function, including B12, which helps regulate our mood and protects our brains against damage and aging. And of course, they're full of long-chained omega-3s, which are the fundamental building blocks our brains are made out of. I'm using about 75 grams of mussels here per portion, which works out to be about 10 mussels each. I'm giving them a good thorough rinse under running water, and then I'm just going to let them sit in a bowl of cold water to defrost a little bit whilst I get on with the rest of my prep. Oh, and I'm also going to boil a full kettle of water now too, to save me time later on. Okay, so I want this to be nice and garlicky, so for the two of us I'm using 4 big cloves. I just crack them first with the side of my knife to make them easier to peel, and then I'm just going to slice them up fairly finely. Then I'm going with 2 red chilies, which I'm going to halve and then mainly de-seed to get rid of most of the heat, and then I'm just going to roughly slice. And then a good bunch of fresh flat leaf parsley. I just roll it up into a tight ball and then run my knife through it to chop it up a little bit. And I'll put that to the side for now because I want to add it right at the end to keep that gorgeous fresh flavour. And last is some greens. I'm using a cheap bag of prepped kale here, but you could use spinach or cabbage, chard, even broccoli. Really, any dark leafy green is going to be packed full of things like magnesium, which most of us are lacking, but really helps us to relax and calm anxiety, and folate, which we know is crucial to building healthy brains. That's why we supplement it in pregnant women. Good, so my prep's done and I'm ready to cook. So I'm filling a pan with that pre-boiled water and adding a good pinch of salt and then straight in with the pasta. The packet says to cook this for 10 to 12 minutes, but I'm going to do mine for 9 because I always think they overestimate the timings and I want to keep my pasta nice and al dente. Here I'm using this 50-50 pasta that's half white and half whole wheat flour, which I think really is the best of both worlds. To me, it tastes identical to white pasta but with most of the nutrients of brown pasta kept in. Okay, so whilst that's cooking away, I'll get on and make my sauce. I've got a large frying pan here on over a medium to high heat, and I'm going to go in with a good glug of extra virgin olive oil, one of the single best foods you can eat for your brain health. I like to fry the garlic on its own first, otherwise I find it can stay a little bit raw. Now, I want it to soften but not catch and go bitter, so I like to tilt the pan like this over the heat a little bit so the garlic kind of collects in a pool of oil and almost deep fries itself. After a minute or two, I'm going to go in with my chilli and the kale and my drained mussels, and I needed to add a little bit more olive oil here too. And then seasoning to taste with salt, and I'm going to go quite heavy with the pepper. A good mix, and then I'm just going to leave it to cook for maybe 3 to 5 minutes on a medium heat, really until those mussels are cooked all the way through but still nice and tender, moving it all around a few times just to stop anything from catching. Once the pasta is cooked, I'm going to save some of that starchy cooking water, about half a mugful, before I drain the pasta and add it and that water I just saved straight into the pan with the mussels. Then I'm grating in some parmesan. I don't really know how much, a good handful, maybe 15 grams. I'm going to give it a really good mix together now, and the starch in that water we saved really is the secret here. It combines with the fat from the oil and the cheese to make a creamy, oozy sauce that just clings to the pasta. It really is free deliciousness. I want to take it off the heat before I add in my lemon juice, otherwise I risk that juice burning and going bitter. And I'm going to go quite heavy here. I'm using an actual lemon for the video, but normally I'd just use lemon juice from a bottle and maybe as much as 2 to maybe even 3 tablespoons. And this lemon juice doesn't just act as a seasoning to draw all those flavours together, but the vitamin C in the juice also helps you to absorb much more of that iron that's locked up inside the kale. Okay, we're nearly there, so I'm going to go in with the parsley now and taste to check the seasoning. Mine need a little bit more salt here. One final good mix and we're ready to serve with a last drizzle of olive oil over both and another good, really good grating of parmesan, and there we have it, a fresh, oozy, tasty bowl of pasta on the table in under 15 minutes that you can eat smug in the knowledge that you're fueling how you think, feel and age.